Thank you so much for staying tuned to TMI. Here we have to really do that, praising and worshiping God is part of everyday life. That is the reason why we choose to bring up a Rock of Ages Christian Assembly International to keep in tune, spiritually speaking. Well, right now we want to take a look at coronavirus. We just can't stop talking about it because we have to take it seriously. But you get to hear about distribution of palliative materials, stimulus package. Some persons are of the opinion that there is a lot of politics behind it. Now, I got to hear a story about what happened to Bowo area where someone was given palliative, and you get to hear, please don't give to that person, it belongs to this party A, that one belongs to party C, so start from party D. And that led to a very, very chaotic situation. And there was turmoil and there was fighting before that matter was resolved. The people are like saying that it is still very much on the ground. Well, according to records, coronavirus confirmed cases globally 2.3 million. Globally, while for the death rate 160,820. For the recovered, 600,411. See, gradually we can beat this thing. We can win this virus. Definitely we can. Now, if you take a look at our own country, Nigeria, with the records we are having here, if you take a look at it, let's see now. Nigeria is still trying our best to overcome the virus, but right now we are having a case of 542. Yes, 542. And recovered cases 166. But eventually I know definitely that we are going to overcome. Well, right now, the politics behind distribution of stimulus package. With me here in the studio, I have the secretary of People's Democratic Party, Edo State Chapter. Join me to welcome Honorable Chris Nehari. Welcome to TMI, sir. I appreciate your coming.
Thank you very much. It's actually Publicity Secretary.
Oh, Publicity Secretary, yes. Publicity Secretary, yeah. All right, so very close to him, we get to hear put food on the table. Yeah, Comrade Obaraye Osaho is a card-carrying member of the APC. Obaraye, welcome to TMI.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your coming.
Much.
Okay, now there been this accusation and counter-accusation on how these stimulus packages have been distributed. Some of the opinion that it's been distributed across party line. You get to hear party A accusing party B and party B accusing party C. It's like all parties are involved. We won't talk about distribution of these packages. As Publicity Secretary of the PDP, what are your opinions on this?
Well, first and foremost, I don't think it's involved in all political parties. Our elected representatives have shared a few things, or I think we call it palliatives nowadays, to their constituents. They've done that right from time. This is not just during this COVID-19 period, but consistently. But in a few weeks, I think the volume has increased. And they've shared it to the constituents. That is everybody that lives in their constituency, whether voter or non-voter. They have not used party coloration to handle this matter, because they've handled it through a very decent and well-organized manner. However, the state government is under a lot of pressure because of the way they started this process. It was a knee-jerk reaction. I don't think it was probably well planned, and then ended up in the hands of people who read politics into everything. I think that's why a lot of the citizens are not satisfied with the way it's being shared. And that's why we're having issues of give to this man is not give to this man is APC, don't give to that man because it's PDP. But I think it's unfortunate and something that must be condemned and stopped.
All right. I still want to ask you this question before I go to Obaraye. Now, you talked about persons from a political party. They've been doing this for quite a long time. Who are those responsible for the compilation of the lists? APC members, are they involved also? Were they called in to contribute their own number of persons for each senatorial district, either senator or House of Representatives, to really get the comprehensive persons in these districts?
No, under PDP's distribution of items, whether palliative, like you call it now, or other items, workshops, trainings, whatever it is. We have never sat down and asked anybody to bring a list. What the party representatives have done is to advertise the process and ask people to go to their constituency office to put their names down for them to be shortlisted. And when you do that, we do not ask for name, we don't ask which party do you belong. As long as you are a constituent, as long as you belong to that area, you are eligible for it. If you qualify this time, you may not next time. But what has been going on is that this process has been really going on, and majority of the people, a lot of the people get involved in this, and the process is carried out completely. I'm sure you heard recently that another 67 people were recently giving grants of up to 500,000 each after completing the training in Ibadan.
Yeah.
And I'm sure before they also heard about Libya returnees. These are I'm sure you know Libya returnees are not actually card-carrying members. We cannot classify them as card-carrying members of any of the political parties. As long as they belong to that constituency, our representatives will be taking care of them effectively.
All right, I will come back to you on that because we have divergent views and reports on that. Now, Obaraye, your party is in power, and like what you said, there have been complaints that this is being done politically, and people are like saying that the courts are cross political party, but he's saying that the PDP doesn't do that, they carry everybody along. Though I have so many questions to ask, but from your own party, how are they faring when you talk about distribution of palliative measures or relief materials?
Thank you so much. I think what has happened for the palliative measures distribution might not have gone down well. It's like the government had a better plan of making sure things went well, but I think the channel of which that plan is going through and has been going through is what is bad, because you can see that most of the local governments, most out of the 18, some don't even know that what a local government chairman should be doing. So if they've gotten a palliative, you see them be giving it again to their councillors, not monitoring it to the latter. So that is why at the end you see that giving an individual, you see them giving them one Indomie, about 2 cups of fries, this one. So you can see the volume of what the governor has or has brought, to me, was not well channeled. So, but I think politicizing it, you cannot also shy away from that. My leader must have also queried what he has told us about the palliative measure not being on arm. My constituency nowhere, though I think I have not felt any of the palliative from neither here nor there. But the truth must be told. For the very just now, our leaders have failed totally in trying to make sure the people they represent in this very process are answered. The reason is not far-fetched. I think you've seen from Party A or Party B the palliative measures that is going down. None can feed the dog of my leader. We must fact out ourselves. None. Because you see, not even a rubber of rice or a rubber of beans. You see, there's one video that is trending now where you saw a man was shouting and abusing the giver of, say, the Indomie should be shared amongst, 1 carton of Indomie should be shared among about 3, 4, 5, 6 families. That is what some of us buy at home for our kid every day for school. Now you are saying for this period of lockdown, because you cannot tie a goat to a standby to say don't move and don't feed that goat there. The goat will die. So you said they should not move, but the food you are going to give to them should make them also be so happy not to move. Not trying to say we spent about 80 million, we spent this, and it's not going that well. I think what the government would have done, what our leaders would have done, is not trying to reach out to everybody. Everybody, Jesus Christ did not hear everybody he saw. It was those that came to him for miracle. He gave miracle. If you believe, take. If you believe, see. The one they called his attention to was what he did. So our leaders or government trying to say, operation, we are going to feed the entire people. To me, they should not do that.
Okay.
It should be select, just say, okay, this street or our street today, off Darcy Road, give us 20 persons. These 20 persons, this is 3 bags of rice, this is 200,000. Make sure, stay and watch it going down well. The next day you move, because by the time you give it to a councillor will remember that when he was trying to contest election, there was one man that brought his son to say, come and contest against me. You must also shy away. It takes the grace of God for that person to forgive that person. So this is, they will not see it as a time for payback.
Okay.
So our government would have done it on a neutral basis.
On a neutral basis?
Yes.
So from what you're saying right now, it's not neutral?
It's not.
Okay, fine. Subsequently, talking about previous days, last week we invited some government officials to come talk about it. They're saying that the sharing formula, that parties were like involved. They even mentioned your party, that people were reached out to join hands together to make sure that this thing gets down to everyone in Edo State. How true is this?
First and foremost, I think it's the first I'm hearing that my party was reached out to. We've been in opposition in this state for 12 years, or close to 12 years. We have never been involved in anything the government has done. Even for their protocols, they wouldn't invite us to state functions. They don't invite us to state functions. So I think it would be wrong for any. I don't know who made that statement that my party was reached out to come and do what? To come and supervise, to come and help share. Or we are not involved with that. I would completely dissociate ourselves from that remark. And I'm talking about a neutral level. Our party has spoken and tried to give directive or direction on how we think this thing can best be organized. Now, there are lots of churches all over the places. Lots of churches, and lots of these churches have many indigent members. Churches are, to me, are one of the better ways for these things to be shared. I'll give my church, my parish, for example. A few weeks ago, what they did, we contributed lots of foodstuff to the parish, and the parish put this foodstuff together in different bags. Drop those bags in a place, and the indigent people came in, maintaining social distance, going there, picking up a bag by themselves. Now, there's no way you can tell who is PDP or who is APC or who is AD amongst the people that came in to pick it up by themselves. The Reverend Father just stood there, observing, watching. And these people came in, picked up their bags, they were content.
That's for your own parish?
That is my parish.
But you can't speak for other parishes?
I can only speak for where I observed and where I noticed. But if it's a Catholic thing, I don't know if it went on in other Catholic churches, but it is upon in my church. And it has been recurring. We contribute to the church, and the church shares it in different bags, and people come in, pick it up where it is, and walk out. Nobody has said it was given to PDP or given to APC. But when you now go through, like you mentioned, go through an elected person, especially people that they play politics with everything. This is a state that we all know the way politics has been played. Even within their own party, there are factions. This one belongs to this one belongs to this. Now, how do you think people like that will share to ordinary people? Our members are very content. They've not been part of those fighting that this food must come to them. But as a matter of right, as tax-paying citizens, if government is giving out palliatives, they deserve to get these palliatives, especially for the poorest of the poor. And I think it would be wrong for anybody that can afford to feed himself or the family to be able to keep bags of rice or cartons of indomie in their houses. But when we've created a party whereby everything is politicalized, this is what happens. So we'd like to advise the government to rethink whatever their method is, to rethink it and channel this through churches. I don't think any churches.
What about those who do not attend church? How is it going to get to them?
Like you mentioned a few minutes ago, Jesus Christ did not cure everybody on the street. It was only those that came to it. If you give to church, give to mosque. And when people also know that this is a process, and they know that there's peace and orderliness in these institutions, when they come, even when they come to take, they will follow the laid down rules. They won't fight for it.
All right. Now, from what he said, like take home for you, he said PDP, they were not involved in the organization of sharing formula, talking about the palliative measures or the stimulus package meant for Edo state citizens, that they were not called upon by the ruling party. But over the week, you get to hear some person saying that PDP also they were involved because they were reached out to even through the PDP chairman Edo State. So two contrasting opinions. We'll dig into that. Now, Obaraye, you are a member of the ruling party. Now, when he made that statement, you giggled. I mean, could you tell us why you laughed in a way that they were not called upon? Because according to some APC members, they came on air to say, look, we reached out to all political parties in Edo State, especially opposition. They are all involved because this is like an Edo thing, not a party thing.
Yeah, this is like, you already know you are sitting down with somebody that is a first-class student, and the person has opened his book for you to spy. You don't need a social to tell you you are not going to get a B, except you don't even know how to write. The publicity secretary of the party has told you, so you don't need a soothsayer again to tell you. Why would I start arguing with him? Because he's supposed to pass through his office. Is the publicity to speak on behalf to say we were reached to. So he has said they were not reached to. So what he has said to me is the truth. We should believe him. Are you getting? You leave history to judge. So this is the time. This is not the time to politicize anything. I'm not speaking as a I'm speaking as Obaraye. This is not the time to politicize anything. The reason is not far-fetched. The reason is because coronavirus does not know politics. It doesn't belong to any party. You can see the striking force of coronavirus. That if it was what a billionaire can handle, will not be the breaking news of we've been hearing will not be happening. And this is the first time the poor of the poor is even enjoying because they are immune to coronavirus. The younger virus is what we are used to.
Well, no one is immune to coronavirus.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. You cannot talk about coronavirus to a Fulani man that is leading a cow head from Sokoto down to Benin. That the rain, sun, everything is on him. Or a new Benin market woman that will stay under that place for straight to 12 hours under that sun or rain, telling you about coronavirus. What our people are struggling to fight against is the hunger virus. And this is supposed to be the time. This same our leaders now during election will come and kneel down begging you with bag of rice, giving you money to vote because they need your vote. Now they don't need your vote. This is supposed to be the time. They are supposed to come and tell you, my brother, thank you. This is what we have for you. But what you hear them see now, they are still politicizing it. I think election in Edo is not far. So be you any party, you should at least respect that election is not far. Election is close. So we are supposed to live by example now. Show love, just love. It does not take the money from their breast pocket to feed at least 3-4-6 families. What is it going to take? To fuel their SUVs. The money to say, okay, go and fuel the car in my apartment. Can feed at least 3-4 houses for a day or two. My brother, if we decide to buy a bag of rice for 8 of us that are here now today, my brother, for the next 1 week, we are not going to talk anything about rice. But if you give me 2 cups of rice, in the next 3 days, I'm coming back for rice. But if you say, okay, this is 1 bag, take, 3 of you, take, share it. In a bag of rice, we already know now, on our standing that we have close to about 19, 17, 18 numbers, right, depending on the size of the bag. So that's to say, Obaraye will leave you with at least a minimum of 6 rubbers of rice. And 6 rubbers of rice will take the family for at least the next 2 weeks. Because we're not going to just be eating rice.
Okay.
We're also going to get Gary. So this is not the time for our government to come up to say, Christian Eka does not belong to us. Obaraye was the one abusing us. We are not going to feed them. No, you are not doing me. You are doing yourself.
Okay.
You are doing yourself because history is going to judge you. rightly or wrongly.
Okay, now you said that you were not involved, you were not informed. Did you reach out to the ruling party to at least give them your suggestions on how these things should be done, distributed?
I think I've answered that question. No, I was not reached out to.
I mean, did you now, as a political party, reach out to the ruling party?
As usual, we've made our contribution on air, newspaper, media, on how best we think this issue should be handled. Just like I spoke just now about going through churches. This is an advice of giving for free to the state government.
But that
it
means...
It is their prerogative to listen.
Okay, that means you didn't reach out to them directly since they come to you. Is that what you're saying right now,
what
sir?
What do you mean reaching out to? We've been in opposition since 2008.
Because like what it says, coronavirus doesn't know party.
It doesn't know party.
Because you can suggest also.
What we have consistently done, first and foremost, we believe that to start with, we have to educate and enlighten the people of Edo State on how to prevent the spread and infection of coronavirus. We think that was the first thing to do. That was where we came up with issues of wash your hands, stay away, social distancing. We believe that was the first step to take. Because for you to now go to palliatives, you have to make sure the people, first and foremost, are well sensitized on this issue. Now, on the issue of palliatives, what the guidelines were not discussed with anyone. I think the government did a knee-jerk reaction on this palliatives because when some of their party members started sharing this thing, the government thought it was right for them to also start sharing without thinking out the logistics and the modality for sharing this thing. We were not aware the government was going to jump into the sharing of 1 or 2 Indomie to families across the nation. We were not aware. There was no inclination that the government was going to follow in that path. We thought first and foremost as a government, as a responsible government, they should sensitize the people on these issues. Once this sensitization was done, then there should now have been a setup, a protocol to follow for sharing processes. Now, even if we don't go through churches, we have 18 local governments. Those local governments, this is the right time for them to stop all they are doing in terms of infrastructural development. Whatever savings they have left from their allocation, I suspect maybe from between 10 to 25 million every month should be geared to feeding the people in their localities. If first and foremost they set up food kitchens whereby people go there to eat, giving them granting people 1 meal a day. While they're doing that, they now think of how to now get food stuff to these people. Because no matter what government does, no matter what anybody, no matter the size of the government, if you have not saved, if you have not planned, especially like we have a government now that has been borrowing, and borrowing, there's no way it has enough resources saved or planned to take care of its citizens. And that is where this government is stuck. But they can't come out now to tell Edo people that we are sorry, there is no money. They can't come out to say so. You know, and also they have taken over the 18 local governments allocation, that even a matter that the local government should be handling, the state government is involved in it. Because the local government already is probably the largest and probably the richest. Keep it 25 million a month to start something. Then the smallest one, Igwebe, having 10 million to start something. They get allocation every month. What have they been doing with their money? What are they doing with their money at this point in time? So I will speak for PDP. PDP has not been involved in the planning or execution of what is going on. But we have proffered suggestions at various levels. We even talked recently about the unemployment crisis that is imminent after this is gone. What plan does the government have? We are not hearing anything about the plan. We just pointed to just one sector, which was the hotel sector. We know there are other sectors. Even the Chukudi that sells parts in Uwelu, that the shop has been closed in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Does not deserve to get a palliative, even if it's not food, but at least some money to tide him over for this period. He may also have borrowed money from a community bank to be able to sell his parts. So we're having so much problems. The state government is actually not prepared. And we're actually embarrassed that we believe we had a technocrat at the head of affairs, but right now
we are not yet to shoot shorts or will I say political points on this issue right now.
We have deliberately made the statement that we will not politicize this thing, and we are not. That is why you are not hearing so much from us. Whatever we do now, we just try to point the government in the right direction in areas we think this is the best thing to do.
Right.
But this government right now, I think Edo people is failing Edo people at this point in time.
Okay, your own opinion, because according to them, they are doing their best possible. They say they carried
Their best right now-
everybody
their
along.
best right now is
but
not
now
good
you
enough.
are saying that you guys were not carried along
I'm not saying
because
that we're not. You see what is carried? What is carried along?
okay, you're not even informed.
Exactly. We were
All
not
right,
aware.
because it's good for you to hear from both parties. Okay, we're hearing from the ruling party. It's good for us also to hear from the major opposition in the state because there was a fight that broke off because of this same issue. It belongs to that party. Start from here. It belongs to this party. Start from the extreme, and that led to a very, very rancorous situation. We are saying don't politicize this issue. Okay, gentlemen, like what I said at the beginning of this show, is going to be 30 minutes each. You're going to have 2 minutes to summarize your points advising the Edo State government, the citizens of Edo State, and political parties in Edo State on ways to go about this. Obara, let me start off with you. You have 2 minutes, and of course, the President Secretary of the PDP will conclude this discussion.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think, first of all, let me go with the citizens. This is the time for the citizens to know, again, diversify their thinking. If they go back to their backyard now and start planting tomatoes, the seeds from those tomatoes, just go pick it, pepper, okra, corn. Don't go far, just put it. It can at least give you little palliative measure for your stomach.
Yeah.
Therefore, the government, I think the government should at this time stand up to the rise to the occasion to say we can do it. The reason why we say is that history, so I'm not sure there was anybody alive that saw the Second World War. But to me, this is the Third World War. So generations yet unborn will cite this time to say there was one time the entire world was on a shutdown. So which government was on air? People will ask. It was the government of Okoba Ayosa. What did your government do? So then you can say, I would have done. So don't say I would. This is the time for you to dot the T, the I's, cross the T's. We must do things right because it's a pride for you to say you are a politician. But it's a slap when your party is not doing what it's supposed to do.
Okay, thank you so much, Okorabaye. Honorable Chris Naikai, talking about the Publicity Secretary of the PDP, you're going to have the last line on this discussion. Go ahead. What advice do you have for your party, other parties, ruling parties, and of course, Edo State government and citizens?
Well, first and foremost, I think I'll advise the citizens to maintain the rules and regulation of this period. Containing the spread and infection is very important for the citizens and for humanity. And the rules as been spelled out, washing hands regularly, maintaining social distance, staying indoors right now, as the government has said it. I think those are very important that we try to adhere to those things. And then for the distribution of palliatives, we admit in some areas that it will be difficult for government to actually do these things without the support of the citizens. But at the same time, for the citizens to trust the government, they have to show sincerity of purpose. When I talk of government, I talk of all tiers of government, those involved in the distribution of these things. And then they should be transparent and accountable to the people that this is what we're doing, this is how we want to do it. We all have to get involved in it one way or the other, and I'm glad that my representatives are doing their bits the best way they can. But government needs to pull up its socks and start to do things the right way.
Because some persons also are still complaining with the manner with which your representatives also they are doing theirs politicized. That is their complaint. So they're complaining against the ruling party and of course the opposition, saying that this whole thing. Anyway, thank you so much for your opinion.
Can you just have one last word?
30 seconds.
See, yes.
All right.
Opposition parties. We're not an executive. We do not have a vote, we do not have revenue. Our parties are legislators. Our members are legislators. So whatever they do, or whatever they are doing, is just a scratch. They do not collect revenue from government. We do not collect taxes. And so we cannot expect us to do what government that you are empowered with your votes to run a system to do.
All right. Thank
That's
you.
where we all blame the government.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate a wonderful analysis. Well, you've heard them. 1 point to take home. They were not informers against what we've been hearing. Anyway, we have 2 other guests that will come here to really throw their own thoughts and opinion on this issue. Do stay tuned.